And hello everybody, Peter here. I believe this is the fourth installation of Peter's content-free podcast. Season 1, Volume 1. Maybe one day we'll have like a whole rack of them, you know how people used to have bookshelves and a whole shelf of a bookshelf was full of the Encyclopedia Britannica, or maybe there were like several popular encyclopedias. We had one. I don't remember. I don't think it was Encyclopedia Britannica. It was another one. We had the World Book. And sometimes I read it. I did. And now we have Wikipedia. And those people are all, well, I guess they're mostly out of business, I suppose. I feel like people now, if they buy a set of encyclopedias, it's just to make their bookshelves look nice. But you could just buy kind of, like a facade of sorts to put on the front of your bookshelf. And it would still look just as good, except if someone went to pull one out, to peruse because they were waiting or you were boring, or just because they wanted to better themselves perhaps and learn about something in the G book or the M. I feel like I read M a lot. Some of the letters were combined in the World Book encyclopedias, but, I learned interesting things. I did. I don't remember what any of them are in particular, but I'm sure they've stuck with me subconsciously. I think they have. Anyways, a little update. I think some of you might be wondering, Peter, what is up with your coffee? Peter, you always talk about your coffee, and we're just dying to know, how's your coffee doing? How's your coffee maker doing? What are your coffee habits like? I'll tell you, the coffee maker seems to be doing well. I haven't consciously been doing anything differently lately, but I've been pretty happy with it. There's been a big change as far as mugs. I do have a few different mugs of a few different sizes, shapes, different volumes of coffee that they hold. And volumes, how much they hold does make a difference because you got to keep drinking the coffee, otherwise it goes cold in the mug, but it stays warm in the carafe. I'm going to say carafe. I've debated this on the podcast before, but I'm going to stick with carafe. Wait, I just said carafe. The coffee pot. I feel like not many other people even say this word in my life, but it's a word. Look it up. I don't know how to spell it. I think it's Carafe. Anyways, it stays warm in that because the carafe, is on a heated surface. So I think actually, I have a couple of really big coffee mugs, and big coffee mugs do seem to be popular these days. Big, short, wide coffee mugs. They're almost bowl-shaped. I mean, bowl-sized, but coffee mug-shaped. They're like as wide as they are tall. I feel like this is the type of thing that I would eat clam chowder out of, with a big, wide, low spoon, or maybe, talking about big, weird-shaped spoons suddenly makes me want to eat some egg drop soup. I'm a big fan of egg drop soup. One time I was at a Chinese buffet. Everyone loves a good Chinese buffet. With my friends, Dave and Joe. They're brothers. Joe is the younger brother. It's in podcasts like these when you can go ahead and tell about these little details, these little extraneous details that, well, you might not otherwise give in a normal conversation, and it doesn't really matter because we're just talking. I'm just talking. I don't know what the heck you're doing. You could be doing anything for all I know. I'm wearing a weird shirt right now. It's weird shirts like these that it has a very large graphic on the front. So part of the shirt is regular. It's regular fabric, and then the large graphic on front. Here's the regular fabric. That's what that sounds like, right? And then the graphic sounds like this, and it's just kind of weird. Like the graphic, it doesn't breathe at all. I don't really like it. It says Polaroid, and then it's got like Polaroids. Someone gave it to me. Anyways, I just said that to you because my hand like brushed it and made a weird noise. Anyways, I was at this Chinese buffet with Dave and Joe. Joe's the younger brother, and we were all sitting down at the table or taking our food to the table from the buffet. And I got a bowl of egg drop soup, and then I got up again. They were sitting down. I put my bowl of egg drop soup down. I don't know if I had gotten any other food. I probably had. Of course I did. Of course I did. And I got up again because I needed to grab something like maybe like a drink or... No, they bring you the drinks. That's the one thing they bring you that you don't have to get yourself. I got to get a spoon probably. That sounds reasonable. I got up to get a spoon, and when I came back, my egg drop soup looked a little bit weird. But it's not totally abnormal for things to be abnormal at a Chinese buffet, because you're not, you get what you pay for. You're not getting the cream of the crop at a regular Chinese buffet. You know that things could be a little wonky, but I didn't really think twice about it, and I just kind of started eating the egg drop soup, and it just I was okay with it looking a little bit weird as long as it tasted fine. But it turned out that it did not taste fine, and it turned out that they had put hot sauce in my egg drop soup. And I'm okay with putting hot sauce in things. I just, it's just when you don't expect it, when you don't ask for it, and it wasn't even that hot. It just tasted really weird. So, thankfully, I was at a buffet, so I just went and got another bowl of egg drop soup. Wasteful, yes, but friendly prank between friends, I suppose. Not really all that funny, but I remember it. That's all I'm trying to say, is I remember it. And really, that is all I'm trying to say. It was a thing that happened. Going back to what I was talking about, I have a few different mugs, and now the main mug that I'm drinking out of is a Daft Punk mug. All right. It's a black mug. It's one of the first almost entirely black mugs I have, and that's significant for a reason that I'll expound upon in a moment. But this is a very nice mug. Actually, I don't know if it's a very nice mug. I think it's a nice mug because it has the Daft Punk logo on it. I bought it from the Daft Punk, like merchandise store online, like daftpunk.com or something. Excuse me. I'm burping a little bit. I apologize. I don't know, if I burp a little bit. Should I edit it out? I don't think so. This is a content-free podcast. It's very casual. It's very down to earth. I'm just talking, maybe burping a tiny bit. Anyways, I bought this Daft Punk mug off the website. I ordered it. The shipping cost as much as the mug itself. The mug was $15. The shipping was $15. It came from the United Kingdom. Interestingly enough, even though I think Daft Punk, I think they're French. I guess their merchandising is based out of the UK. It got here a few weeks later, and it's shape-wise, it's about as average as mugs go, which is fine with me. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm all right. I'm holding it right here. You guys can hear it. Oh wait, that's not very satisfying noise. Or is that a little better? Anyways, I don't know. Do you guys like hearing things? Anyways, probably not. Maybe. Different people are into different things. Look, so I have the mug. It has a very crisp Daft Punk logo on it. And for a while, for the first few times I drank out of it, for the first few mugfuls, maybe the first few days, I kept the tag on it that it came with. There was a tag hanging from the handle with a cloth, like a string, and there was a cardboard tag with a very nice, shiny, holographic sticker. I fancied it. It was very shiny, and it made me feel special to have, it was like certifying that it was official Daft Punk merchandise or something like that. I mean, I don't know why that really matters. If they could fake the mug, couldn't someone also fake the sticker? Is the sticker that much more difficult? Maybe it is. I don't know. I've never tried to fake merchandise. Maybe it's just showing that someone didn't print this thing off on cafepress.com or something, because maybe that is pretty easy and that sticker is more difficult. I don't know. Anyways, I was pretty happy with the sticker. I didn't even know I was going to get the sticker on the little tag, and I did. So it made me a happy customer, and I'm still a happy customer. The logo hasn't started coming off of the mug, but that's partly because I have haven't really washed the mug at all. I rinsed it out once. And that leads into what I'm saying, what I wanted to say mostly about this mug being a black mug, like a very dark, deep black, is that usually, before I've been drinking out of Waffle House mugs that I got from Waffle House, I would drink out of the mugs at Waffle House, and then I'd walk out with them. I did not steal the mugs from Waffle House. I'm not a thief. I would never do that. But I would just say, usually when I go to Waffle House, I try to be there when the place is fairly, in down times, the off times. Like when it's only me there. Me, a few other customers. I'm talking like 2-3 o'clock at night on weekdays. 2-3 o'clock at night on the weekends can get pretty crazy. People are, getting out of bars and stuff, and the people that are there are usually drunk. But 2-3 o'clock at night on weekdays, usually pretty quiet. I like it there. So, the you don't get disturbed by I don't know. I'm not like a hermit or something. I get disturbed by other humans being out in the world at the same time I am, but I like it chill. And anyways, so you can like chat it up with like the waitresses or whatever, and I say what will it take? When I'm about to leave, I look, I'm like, looking at my mug thoughtfully, full of thought, and I say, what would it take for me to have one of these mugs? And I've got like 2 or 3 of them. I think I had 3 and I broke one or something. I've got 2 now, and one of the times, the girl turned to a guy that was standing there, who I guess was maybe like an assistant manager or something. The manager is never there. Like the real manager, is never there at that time of night. And she said, how much are the mugs? Apparently the guy had previously that day sold one of the mugs for $5 to someone. But then somehow I got it for free. He's like, you can have it. So that time they just gave me a mug. And then the next time I asked a girl, so what would it take for me to have one of these mugs? And then she just kind of looked at me and she's like, I ain't gonna chase you. Which I took to mean I could walk out with it. So I did. But sometimes they say I can buy them for $5, which I don't do because I really only want those Waffle House mugs if I can have them for free. That's a little more appealing to me for some reason, even though $5 for a Waffle House mug is pretty cool. That's pretty cool too, but it's just, I don't know, I like it. I like the feeling of having a Waffle House mug better if it's free. Anyways, those Waffle House mugs are white or close to white, probably an off-white. And you can easily see when there's any coffee scum dried inside of them. And you feel like you need to wash them sometimes. Like there's like a ring of coffee around it if you didn't drink it all when you pour out the old coffee, or it just kind of dries up at the bottom. So you feel like you need to rinse it out or wash it more often. This black mug, on the other hand, you don't feel that urge really at all. Really, it just looks like a colorless liquid down there inside, or it's just everything in there is almost invisible, especially if it's coffee. It all just looks like water in there, really. And so I've drank probably 10 or 20 cups of coffee out of here, and I've only rinsed it out once. It's probably pretty gross. It's pretty gross, but I try not to think about it too much. I mean, first of all, I don't put one thing I comfort myself with is the thought that I don't put sugar or milk in my coffee, so that probably keeps it a little cleaner, a little more sanitary. There's less things growing in it, just all through it. It's just beans, I guess. It's just bean juice, and it's heated up, right? I don't know. It's probably still gross. Maybe you guys didn't want to know that, but that's the story so far. But I like this mug. I'm still holding it. I've been holding it and looking at it this whole time. See, it's right here. Anyways, but yeah, the coffee is going good. I've been happy with it. It hasn't been too bitter. I don't know what's changed. One time it was too bitter. Just to recap, it was too bitter. I don't remember what I did. I think I ran vinegar through it, and then after I ran vinegar through it, Everyone told me to run vinegar through it. And also, I turned down the heat of the little heating pad under the carafe to low, from medium to low. I turned that down also. I think those two things might have helped the coffee from being so bitter. Also, I might have, I don't know if I did or not, but I might be using slightly less amount of coffee grounds. Also, soon I need to buy some new coffee filters. And these aren't like normal coffee filters. They're not like the white paper frilly looking ones, that look like upside down white like schoolgirl dresses. They're like brown flat ones that you like open up. I don't know how to describe it, but they're not normal, but they're probably also at the store. All the ones I have so far are ones that came with the coffee maker. So I need to grab more of those. Yep, so that's a little update on my coffee situation. But thinking about this mug reminded me of a song that my family used to sing about black socks and how they don't get dirty. So I'm introducing a little segment into the podcast, a little musical segment, and I'm going to try to sing kind of away from the mic. But this is a little song called Black Socks. Excuse me. Black socks, they never get dirty. The longer you wear them, the stiffer they get. Sometimes I think of the laundry, but something inside me says, don't send them yet. All right, there's a little musical segment. That was a song called Black Socks, author unknown, performed by myself. Sorry if that was hard to listen to, but I'm just trying to innovate, and sometimes you got to add a musical segment to a podcast. All right, cool. What else to talk about? Let's see, on my desk here, I have a golf pencil. Golf pencils are interesting. Do you think they take normal pencils, like they have a normal pencil factory, and then they just take a whole portion of a normal pencil factory pencils, kind of get shaved off, and a whole portion of those just get chopped in half, and then kind of go through the system again to get sharpened, and then blammo, they have golf pencils, and then they just never go through the part of the factory where they put erasers on them, because they're really pretty much just exactly, let me see here, they're really pretty much just exactly half as long as regular pencils. And regular pencils, I feel like, golf pencils and regular pencils, are they that short because they're trying to save money or because they fit in people's pockets better? Both? Because I feel like the regular pencils they're making golf pencils out of aren't that expensive anyways. Also, do these pencils get used more statistically? Do more of these pencils get used these days on golf courses or in IKEAs? Because at one time I walked out of an IKEA with my pants pockets and my jacket's pockets stuffed full of these things. A few years ago I did that. True confessions of a pencil stealer here on the Peter Draws content-free podcast. That might be a little bit too much content, but I probably had 80 pencils, maybe close to 100. I mean, I was bulging of golf pencils. There was a buttload of them. I mean, they just have dispensers full of them, and you can reach in the top and just take handfuls of them. And I might have gotten poked a few times through my pockets, but I think it was worth it. I was going to make some sort of art project with them, like build with them like Lincoln logs or something. But then I ended up moving and I threw them away because I had too many of them. Life is weird like that. All right, what else to talk about? I could talk about, I'm looking at my muscles right now. I haven't lifted weights recently. I have some weights over there, haven't lifted them. I have one weight over there on the back of a tripod. For my drawing setup, I have a horizontal tripod, but the camcorder I have on the end of it seems to kind of set it off balance. So I have like I don't know what these weights are called, like a plate. It's like a miniature plate that you put on I don't really know. I get dumbbells and barbells mixed up. I think it's a dumbbell. It's like a mini plate you put on a dumbbell. I have one of those strapped with a Velcro strap to the back leg of a horizontal tripod, just to keep it from falling over. So it's like a weird counterbalance system. It's like all jerry-rigged up. It's pretty great. I like it. I like it a lot. Except for when I have to move everything. Then I have to take the weight off and then put it back on later. Breakdown, setup. It all gets, it's complicated. It gets crazy quick. I do want to mention a strange thing that's been happening to me lately, and it's strange. It involves driving, and it's strange to me because it's only been happening to me lately when I have been driving for something like probably 8 years now. I'm 26, and I got maybe almost 10 years. I guess I got my, learner's permit when I was 15 and a half or so. So probably over 10 years I've been driving. And this has probably only been happening to me for the last year or so. And so I think it must have something to do with the road out in front of my, house, my apartment where I live. It must be something to do with how bumpy it is. Sometimes lately, during the night when I drive, I can't tell the difference, or I keep thinking that people are flashing their headlights at me. But what I think is really happening is that people are just driving over the bumps in the road, and their headlights are kind of, bumping up briefly and getting brighter briefly. And so I think that they're flashing their headlights at me when really they're just going over bumps. So I keep thinking they're flashing their headlights when they're not, and then that makes me paranoid. Like, am I doing something wrong? Like, what reasons do people ever have for flashing their headlights? Are my headlights off? Is there something crazy up ahead I should be watching out for? And I get really paranoid, and I keep getting really paranoid driving up and down the road in front of my house until I've slowly started realizing that it must just be the road in front of my house that's so bumpy, and people aren't actually flashing their headlights. And everything's actually okay, and there should be actually a distinct difference, they're not flashing their headlight, it should be the high beams flashing on and off. That should be painfully obvious because high beams are really bright. Some high beams, I've been impressed, you can see when people are driving in front of you with their high beams on, especially if there's like trees around them and stuff. Some high beams shine almost straight out to the side and almost straight up from the car. It's pretty impressive. Sometimes I feel like my actual headlights don't shine far enough ahead. Even though if you go out and look at the car, it looks like they're shining almost straight forward, but I guess it's different when you're in a car on the road. You always want them to shine farther ahead. But as long as they make, signs and blinkers and reflective stuff on the road light up, and I don't know. Driving is weird. Driving is remarkably dangerous. I'm pretty sure everyone knows that. You could talk about that forever, how dangerous driving is, and yet we always do it. I probably have already talked about it in a podcast and have subsequently forgot about it. But yeah, driving, terrifying, still something that we do relentlessly. Anyways, just with, seatbelts, airbags, crumple zones, everything's okay. Just keep doing it. Just keep dying. Everything's fine. Anyways, but yeah. And flying, my dad used to be a airplane pilot and mechanic, and for some reason, I feel like I never got to take full advantage of like going flying as often as I should have been able to. Maybe because I was so young when he was doing that, and later he stopped doing that and became an accountant. I feel like people usually go the other direction, early in their life, they do the boring stuff, and then later they become like an airplane pilot, a mechanic, as a hobby. But I guess it's not all as simple and straightforward as that. Life rarely is. Life rarely is. Yeah. Also, I would like to give you guys a small update. Since we last talked, I have found on the floor, I do find a number of things on the floor in my apartment. A sticker. I was talking to you guys about the shiny holographic Daft Punk sticker that was, sorry to go on about Daft Punk. Excuse me, I've always been a fan of Daft Punk as a band. Excuse me. Oh, I had Chinese food for dinner. I had fried pot stickers. Depends on the place I go. Sometimes I go to one place, sometimes I go to the other. And some places I like them steamed, some places I like them fried. Some places fry them and they get too crispy. So then I get them steamed there. But anyways, I got fried pot stickers. What I really love, when it really comes down to it, is the pot sticker sauce or the juice, whatever it is. I really just want a way to get that into my mouth. And then I got scallops. I think that's what they're called. I don't even know what is scallops. Is that an animal? Is that like some sort of seafood? I think it is. I don't know. It's kind of fried and breaded too. I think it's seafood. Is that like a mussel, a clam, a mollusk? I don't know what the difference between all of those is either. Oyster, mussel, clam, mollusk, oyster. Anyways, scallops. And I also dipped those in the remains of the pot sticker sauce. Very good. It came with packs. The what is it called? How can you say a word and then forget it again so quickly? I don't exactly know how that works. The scallops came with packs of what said were tartar sauce, but it was just like plain off-white sauce. My favorite part of the tartar sauce is it's got to be chunky. If you go to Long John Silver's, get the fish there. It comes with tartar sauce, and they have to like cut the tips off of the squirt bottles because that stuff is so chunky it won't come out otherwise with, the relish. It's like mayonnaise and relish pretty much, and I love mayonnaise, but this was weird tartar sauce with no pickle chunks in it. It kind of grossed me out a little bit for some reason. I don't know why it just did. I don't have to give an explanation for everything, okay? I often do. I often over-explain things, but just because I do doesn't mean I have to. Anyways, I got fried pot stickers, scallops, and shrimp fried fried rice. Which I have not eaten yet. I ate the first two things, but I have not eaten the shrimp fried rice because it's just a lot of food. And last time I got this very same thing, and I ate the shrimp fried rice at the same time, and I regretted it. I just felt bloated, sated, and regretful. So I'm trying to learn and save it till later. Hopefully, if I wait, it won't be disgusting and like old tasting. Sometimes, like the cheaper the food is, sometimes the worse it is the longer you wait. But we'll see. It wasn't like that expensive, so it's not that big of a loss if I wait and it's not good later. I can always try heating it up in the microwave. Sometimes that makes things worse, like the heating up rice in the microwave. Sometimes the rice gets all like weird and crispy on the edges. Maybe it has something to do with getting dehydrated. Maybe I should try putting a glass of water or something, a cup of water in the microwave with it. I've heard that's a secret you can do when you're microwaving like a piece of pizza, is to put some water in there with the piece of pizza so that the pizza gets rehydrated instead of dehydrated so it doesn't come out all chewy and weird. Oh, sorry about this noise. I'm playing with some googly eyes on the desk. Sorry if my voice sounds weird right now. Let me take a sip of water. Anyways, I don't know how I got on that tangent, but what I wanted to say was I found another Daft Punk sticker. How do I get away from saying that? I got another Daft Punk sticker. It's very nice. I found it on the floor. I don't know how I found it on the floor, but I found it on the floor. It was like under my chair. And I don't know how it got there because I bought that Daft Punk mug a long, long time ago. It was just on a piece of like wax paper, and it's very nice sticker. It's like the one I had to throw away. It's similar to the one that was on the tag that was on the mug that I had to throw away because I was washing the mug and it got wet. You know, you can't leave tags on things forever. But anyways, I'm very happy to find this sticker because it looks nice, and I have now put it on this water bottle that I drink from all the time. I just have a water bottle that I keep by my computer that I keep refilling whenever it gets empty. And I don't like to think about it very much, but I probably don't wash this water bottle nearly as often as I should. Like, I know I only put water in it, but like I've said before, I have bad feelings about this water. Like, it leaves weird, the water in this apartment, it leaves weird residue, you know, in the bathroom, and I don't know. Thankfully, there's no weird pink residue on the inside of this water bottle, which I just refill over and over and over and over again without ever washing it. But this is a Nalgene water bottle. It's got a couple of stickers on it, and now I have added the awesome, nice and shiny holographic Daft Punk sticker, which says official merchandise on it. Yes, has cool designs and stuff. If you look at it, you know, if you get the light to hit it right, it's perfect, and I'm happy with it. Nalgene's are pretty cool. They're pretty popular. I feel like every now and then there's like a new trend that hits the market. You know, a lot of my friends these days, I see them with those Yeti travel mugs. I don't know, like, how do those people do the marketing just right? Like, I don't know what the appeal is with those things. Yeti. I see people. Is it like this next trend after Nalgene? Yeti. Do you guys know anyone with those Yeti things? It's like they're like jumbo travel. They're like jumbo travel mugs. I don't know a better way to say it. Do you guys know people with those? I think it's like a college thing, maybe. All the college kids have them. You know, put a beverage in there, hot, cold beverage, anything. Take it to class. Look cool. Everyone's got one. You know, like I don't know. The marketing people just did it just right, I guess. Just like everyone's got to have one. All the radio stations, you know, doing giveaways. Everyone puts a sticker on their back of their Jeep. I see people with Yeti hats, Yeti shirts. It's like a trend, you know, it's a lifestyle. I don't know, it's cool. It's just a cool thing to do, be, have, become, drink from. It's interesting. I bet everyone else making bottles and cups wish they had figured out how to do whatever Yeti did, or Nalgene for that matter. Because back in my day, everyone had Nalgenes. I guess people probably still drink from Nalgenes, but I don't know. I've had this Nalgene for a very long time, you know. And then they had that one scandal at one point where everyone was like, "Oh no, there's BPA in these bottles. We've all been getting cancer for 20 years, or however." Nalgene had probably only been out for a couple of years at that point. But it was like if the bottle gets too cold or too hot, it releases chemicals into the water inside of it. BPA, I guess, is that the chemical? And then everyone was drinking the water out of the bottle, which, anyways, everyone's like, "We all got cancer." I don't know. People probably got sued, or, you know, made some. You know, there's probably like a class action lawsuit. I don't know. But now all the bottles all say BPA free on them. And I mean, this one right here says BPA free on it, but I still like it. And then it used to be that all the Nalgene bottles had really wide mouths, you know, because people liked being able to put ice cream, not ice cream, but ice cubes in them. I never liked that because personally, I never really cared what temperature the water was. I just liked being able to drink some water. That always bugged me, so I got one of those splash guards for my water bottle so that I could drink from it without pouring water down my face and the whole front of my body, you know, especially if I was in a car or something. It's pretty annoying to have the opening at the top of your bottle be big enough for you to reach your whole arm into. But now I have a water bottle with a smaller, more reasonable sized mouth. I guess that's what it's called. Is it called a mouth? The hole at the top of a water bottle? I don't know what else to call it. Anyways, you know, then they had the whole thing where if you could, you know, there's the Nalgenes were supposed to be unbreakable, and if you did break it, they would, if you sent them to pieces, they would send you another one. I used to work up at a camp that had some cliffs, and I saw one of them break before. You could throw an Nalgene bottle off of the cliffs, which are like 150, 200 feet high, and the bottle would not break if there was nothing in it. But if there was water in the water bottle, when it hit the bottom, that thing would bust wide open into a bunch of pieces, So, and I bet I could break this thing right now. I'm not going to, but if you push together on it, if you like clasp your hands around it and lock your fingers, you can, I don't know. I feel like that'd be a good way to cut yourself. I don't want to do it, but I can feel it kind of bending inside my hands. And it feels like there's kind of weaker spots too, which is the weird thing. There's like soft spots, like on a baby's head. It's a little bit odd. It is a little bit odd. Also, on the note of being able to get used to anything, which is a recurring theme in my life, because it turns out I really think you can get used to anything, if not almost anything. You can really tell how long someone has had glasses up to. There's probably some point of, I don't know if this is the true usage of this term. Isn't there a term, something like point of diminishing returns? Anyways, I don't think that's how you're supposed to be using this, but right when someone gets glasses for the first time, if there is even one tiny speck of anything on those glasses, that person will whip those glasses right off right away and pull up their little cleaning cloth out of their pocket, which might even be in a little cleaning cloth pocket within their pocket, a little pouch, and they will, maybe even pull out a little squirt bottle to squirt down their glasses, and they'll polish those lenses right up and put those glasses back on their face. That'll only last for a day or two, the cleaning cloth, but then even like a few days in, they'll still be cleaning those glasses as soon as there's even the tiniest smudge or speck of anything on those glasses. But it's the people who have had glasses for years and years. This does vary from person to person, of course. It varies from person to person. But it's those people who can walk around with tons of, smudges and like, if I take off my glasses right now and look at them, I'm surprised I can even see anything through my glasses. It's amazing what you can look through if you're focusing on something that's far past it. It really is incredible. Like, I remember sitting in a field when I was doing some deer hunting, and if you sit behind if you sit behind some tall grass with a set of binoculars, you can use the binoculars to look at stuff past the grass, and you won't even see the grass in the binoculars. You'll just see like the trees and stuff hundreds of yards away. It's pretty interesting. I guess this is sort of the same phenomenon. You don't see the stuff in your glasses because your eyes are so focused on stuff farther away. I don't know why I just snapped my fingers, but anyways. Still, there are some people that seem almost, they seem to be on another level with their glasses grunginess. We all know the people that seem like they almost go out of their way to smudge their glasses up. Like they have grimy fingers, and every time they adjust their glasses, instead of, like touching the rim of the glasses or the arm of one of the glasses, they feel like they touch the lenses of their glasses. Like they go out of their way to touch the lenses of the glasses and smudge them up, and like the lenses of the glasses are almost opaque half the time, if not translucent, if not opaque. I don't know. It's hard to look at those people, just because I know that their glasses must be like looking through frosted glass. And I don't know, I guess, but going back to, you can get used to almost anything. That's really what it comes down to. And then for a while there, when I was in high school, I got glasses. as a little kid when I was in fourth grade, or as a Canadian would, as my dad, as a Canadian would say, grade 4. I got glasses, and then at some point in high school, I switched to I got contacts, and I was happy to do that because I thought, because in high school, it's easy to get a little bit self-conscious, and I don't think I was too self-conscious, but it was especially, I was on the soccer team, and I wasn't too self-conscious about my glasses, even though I maybe should. I don't know, I should not have been, but maybe I should have been. I don't know, I probably looked a little bit dorky, but I don't really care how dorky I looked. But what looked even more dorky than my glasses was me running around in my sports goggles, was when I was on the soccer team. And I had like big floofy hair. I mean, those were some real Napoleon Dynamite shenanigans right there. That was pretty crazy. I wish I could like go back in time and watch myself running around. That would have been pretty amusing. So, I mean, I don't regret that. That's just like part of growing up, being a weird, awkward kid. I don't know. I guess there are some kids that maybe, I feel like maybe you feel like there were some kids that seem like they had it all together, but maybe I feel like everyone has something in their life they're always working on, they're struggling with as they grow up. Nobody has everything together. So yeah. Anyway, so then I got some contacts. I mean, I don't remember exactly when that happened, but I was happy to not have to wear the sports goggles anymore when I played soccer. And I also just felt cooler to not be, like so nerdy with the glasses. I did, yeah, but I felt like I probably would have felt cooler, if I had cooler glasses too. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel it's a little bit materialistic, but I do feel cooler. Cooler is a pretty vague, shallow. I don't know if I can say the word. It's a vague and shallow word that I don't really support. But I do like. It's okay to like things, I suppose. I do like the glasses I have now, these Ray-Bans. But like, I feel like if I had Ray-Bans, or like some like glasses that I had thought through picking out a little more thoroughly in high school, instead of just some random frames that didn't really complement my face at all or anything like that. I don't really know if these do now, but I don't know. Life is weird. I feel like I've kind of... Anyways, I had contacts, and I liked them. The one thing I don't like about contacts is that you got to put them in every morning and take them out every night, right? That's a difficult thing to do, because when I wake up in the morning, the last thing I want to do is, have to do things that involve fine finesse, involving my eyes, especially when things, half the time it would get very annoying, and your eyes would start burning, and you'd have to take the contacts back out and put them back in 100 times. Not 100 times, but... and then at night, the last thing you want to do is have to take your contacts out. I guess I could have always taken my contacts out earlier in the day and put my glasses on, or just put my glasses on and waited till, like right before I left for school to put my contacts in. Anyways, it's just like a hassle. Like this whole contacts thing. Like, why contacts? The only time I wear contacts anymore is if I'm going to go running or something, like exercise, so that I don't have to worry about my glasses bouncing around in my face, or if I'm going to go swimming. Stuff like that. It's nice. People always told me, Peter, your contacts, you can't wear them if you are going to go swimming. They told me all these things I couldn't do with contacts on. And I went and I did every single one of those things with contacts on. Heck, I went water skiing with contacts on. I would go swimming with my eyes open underwater with contacts on, and nothing bad ever happened. I think it was my astigmatism in my eyes that helped keep my contacts really suctioned onto my eyeballs. And those things never came out until I plucked them out of my eyeballs. was pretty happy with my contacts. Sometimes these are 30-day contacts. I was supposed to switch them out every 30 days, but I was also supposed to take them out every night and then put them back in every morning, So I wasn't supposed to wear them for more than a day at a time. But, every now and then, I pretty frequently actually wore them for up to 3 weeks at a time without taking them out, which, anyone that knows anything about eyeballs or contacts should be pretty flabbergasted to find that out. Pretty taken aback. Is that a word? Taken aback? Aback? And, especially an optometrist would be terrified to hear that, because they'll tell you all these, optometrists get told all these horror stories, and when they're learning school, they probably see all these gory images of eyes that have gotten crazy infections and diseases or begin to grow over the contacts in the eyes. And so it's scary for them, but not scary for people like me who just didn't want to take the contacts out and nothing bad ever happened. So I would just keep them in. That's what I would do. Yes. And, but one day I was just fed up with it. So I'm just going to go get nice glasses that I like and not wear contacts anymore. And I still have some of my contacts left over from years before. Since I don't wear them very much, my prescription hasn't changed. Everything's fine. Everything's good. Glasses are just so much easier. Yes, you have to wash them every now. You have to wipe them down with your shirt every now and then. Less often if you have lower standards and if you're more used to stuff. If you've gotten used to grime and the grizzly, the gunk on your glasses, you don't have to wipe them down as often. But it's just, you take them off at night, put them down. If you're me and you have your mattress on the floor, you just put your glasses right on the floor next to your bed and fall asleep. You wake up in the morning, grab them things, slap them on your face, you're good to go. It's just simple. It's easy. I like it a lot. I always thought the first time I got glasses that it would be really weird, that to have these things on your face with the, that it would be really distracting to have these frames, like the peripheral vision, but it's strangely not. But it was miraculous. The first time you get corrected vision, like me, it was at a Lens Crafters in the mall. You walk outside, the most noticeable thing, the thing that makes you gasp and just kind of thrills your heart is being able to see the individual leaves on the trees. It's just amazing. Like you didn't even know it was possible because you had bad vision and you didn't really know you had bad vision. You knew you had bad vision. Like you were sitting in the back of the class and, the teacher's face was blurry at the front, and you saw people across the way. You couldn't really tell who they were. But, that's just how things were. When you have bad vision, you don't really realize how bad it is until you start realizing that person can see who that is over there, and why can't you? And why can that person, you can read that sign? If I squint really hard, maybe I can make out the words at the top. But then you realize maybe you don't. Maybe you can't see very well. Anyways, but yeah, just when you walk outside for the first time with a fresh prescription or corrected vision for the first time, it's those crisp, waving leaves on the trees. It's amazing. I love it. I remember that feeling for the first time vividly. I vividly remember it. And I treasure that moment. I was just a little boy. Walked out of that mall with my mom. And the leaves were blowing in the wind. We went and got in the car and went home. Yeah. Good times.